Now, obviously, pike thrive on neglect and they don't do well on pressure. And I'm here making a video about pike fishing on a pike venue, okay? So, I fully understand that's contradicting myself and obviously, you know, how pike do well. What you've got to remember is how I look at it is this is a hobby for myself for over 30 years. I'm passionate about it, and so are lots of my friends, and there's lots of people out there who want to go pike fishing. What I'm trying to do is help you to go pike fishing and also to help you do it safely. So it's better that I can try and give you this advice so that if you come, you're safe, okay? So, you know, you know where the venue is. It's been named. It's Southwest Southwest Lakes Trust, one of their venues. And you go on the Go Catch app to be able to get on here. And it's bailiffed, okay? They will check your rigs and they will check your tackle because they want to protect what they have in here, which is their pike, okay? Because this is their business and they care about the environment and they care about the pike. So if you're gonna pop to this venue, don't just turn up, go onto the app, read the rules, okay? This venue has got, you have to have a leader, okay? Because it's rocky, you must drop the lead or have the facility to drop the lead, no fixed leads. There's a rule on baits, there's a rule on size of trebles, there's a rule on breaking strain of braid, there's a rule on your actual tackle you're using here as well. Don't just turn up and then get sent away because you've got the wrong gear. Make sure you read the rules, you will get checked, so make sure they're right, okay? It's really, really important for the future of this fishery. Yeah, that's running. So that has just clipped out. Let's see if it's moving away. Yeah, I felt a little knot. That's good enough for me. Oh no. Nothing there. Bait gone. Missed. Let's get it straight back out there. Do you know what? That was a pike, 110%. Did you see when I struck, the line came from down below that down there? No. When it clipped out, me getting from down there to there, the braid was underneath some twig or something down there, and when I struck it went down like that. It didn't go 30 odd foot out there. Bad. That fish never felt nothing. That fish should still be sat there eating that. Let's get it straight back out. Check my nugget. That's a long way down. There we go, that's moving away. Let's have a little go. Always check that drag. Yeah, that's going. Yeah, there's a fish on that. Not a monster, but it's a pike. There we go. With any fish, you can never tell for sure what the size is, so whenever I get them close, I always just ease the drag down a little bit. Just a little bit, because the closer they are, there you go, that's the reason. You get the lunges. And those lunges, when you've got braid and a fairly stiff rod, something's got to give. And that's either a hook pull or your drag. There we go. Nice little pike. Nice little one to start the session. And in this clear water, I'm sure it's going to be beautifully marked. Yeah, just hooked on the side of the mouth. Beautiful. It's only a small one, I can see one of the trebles. So what I'll do there is I'll just grab hold of that myself and chin that one out. There we go. There's never a rush, keep everything nice and slow. Put the bait runner on before I put the rod down, just in case anything goes wrong. There's still line for that fish to be able to get away. Always super careful doing this. There we go. A nice little reservoir pike, beautiful markings. A good start to the day. There's that hook just down there. There we go. Leave that down there in the water because it's nice and safe. And we'll have a quick look at this one now. Beautiful. What I did there is, you saw it, I unhooked it straight away. I always have another trace, at least one or two, depends on how many rods I'm using and what venue it is, but I'll always have another trace ready, baited up, ready to go. Because feeding windows can be ridiculously tight with pike sometimes. Quite often when you've hooked a pike and you've brought it for a swim, it can trigger other pike into a feeding mode. They might hit a bait fish in the swim, they might pick up another bait. If there's no other bait to pick up, they can't pick one up. And it just can switch them on a little bit. So if you've instantly got that rod, unclip that trace, super quick and easy, grab the other trace, clip it on, fire it straight back out there. It's made a splash, it's gone through, and there's a fish like that and it's settled. And you know, over the years, the amount of fish that has caught me while I've come back down to the net to do that, and then all of a sudden, bam, the other rod, the same rod has gone exactly again. If I'd have left that rod and just gone there, got it, made sure it's good. You've got to make sure the fish is safe, especially if there's two of you fishing. It's much easier to work together as a pair. Otherwise, make sure that you pin that net down. It can't go anywhere. It's safe. It can't roll up in the trebles or anything like that. You know, you have got to get it unhooked quickly, make sure it's safe. There's no flying trebles in the net. So the welfare comes first before I really want to catch another fish. Got to make sure. But once you've done that, you can just go super fast because the trace is ready. It's done. You fire it out. You've given yourself a small percentage, and that's what it's about. It's about a little percent here. That might give you 1 or 2% here. There's 1 or 2% there. Before you know it, you might be like 10, 20% ahead of the game just from doing lots of little teeny things, which in their own, if you just did one of them, they don't make a massive difference. 10, 20%, that's a massive difference over a day, over a year. It's even bigger. So that's the reason I work like that, and it works for me, and it works for a lot of other people I know as well. We're going to get this little one back. Right then, this is a clear water venue, and that means they are beautifully marked pike. Absolutely stunning. They're lovely. And this one is gonna be lively, so always a nice firm grip. Can't go anywhere, can't cut my fingers, can't do anything. And I'm pretty sure it's not gonna hang about. So there we go. Whoa! And there it goes. Off it goes, see it going through there. A little bit angry, but absolutely fine. So the water is absolutely freezing. We're definitely going to leapfrog the swims. I am, you know, we've had that fish there. It's going to be worth about another hour in this swim, and then we'll leapfrog to the next swim, and probably the next swim as well. just because the bait fish at this time of year will be moving from deep to shallow water and things to try and get the best temperature. It's unlikely they're just going to stay in one place when they've got geography like this of the lake bed. So we're going to keep moving and hopefully deploy some dead baits at the bottom of the shelves where the depth changes, in the likely places that the pike will wait to ambush for those bait fish to move on through during the course of a day. So fingers crossed. They can only get bigger. So today you join me on a very cold, chilly day in the south of England, and it's January. It's my first time out fishing this year for pike. This is a new venue to me. This is one of the South West Lakes Trust's waters, okay? So to fish any of their waters, you need to go onto the Go Catch app. When you go on there, you'll be able to see all a list of different waters that you can fish. It's nice and straightforward, and it's very easy to follow. This one here, this is called Trenchford Reservoir. It's a big L-shaped reservoir, and predominantly pike and perch in here, and that's what we'll be targeting today, just the pike today. We're going to look at a bit of a roving technique, so not super light like I would on the rivers, but a bit more leapfrogging, so a couple of hours in a swim, couple of hours in another swim. However, if I get a few bites, I'll stay a bit longer in one area. Hopefully I will. This is going to be called Venue Detective. Not that I am Sherlock, but because when I go fishing, I just look into things to try and give myself a few percentages. So, you know, how I look at a venue with regards to, you know, the history of it producing pike, looking around on the internet, speaking to mates who fish it, speaking to the bailiff, looking at the weather forecast, trying to find out as much information as I can, and trying to build up a bit of a picture about what the venue's like before, you know, if I've never been there, rather than just turning up blind, fishing it, not catching anything and thinking, well, that's not a very good venue. It's not really the case. You can't, you know, fishing can be quite hard. So if you can get a few percentages towards you by doing a little bit of homework, that then when you turn up, you do catch a fish or two. Then, you know, we don't just go fishing to catch fish. Obviously, we go to chill out and unwind and enjoy the amazing countryside, which this is absolutely beautiful. This reservoir is amazing, but a couple of fish is always nice, you know. So yeah, that's what it's about really. It's just about me trying to give you a few of the tips and things that I've learned over the years. I think I've been pike fishing for well over 30 years now, believe it or not. It's a long time, and on that journey you tend to just pick up bits and pieces on watercraft and baiting and tackle and rigs and all these things, and yeah, definitely leans a few more fish in the net. So that's what I'm going to try and pass on to you every time I come out filming. Okay, so yeah, that's moving. Yeah, I think, is that going? Ah, very strange. It's probably about there, wasn't it? That's 3 takes in just over an hour and a half. I mean, can't leave.
They're in the zone.
Yeah, I'm going to put a bit of chop out now as well. I didn't feel that fish, didn't feel it at all. Yeah, very. I don't know if it's teeny little fish like the one we just had. Don't know. Very shy bite, you can hardly pull it out the clip. You know what I mean? The clip is super, look, the clip is like mega sensitive. Strange. Could be pressured fish, I don't know. Strange. One of the first things I did this morning when I got to the venue, just like any venue I would go to, is Watercraft. So when I turn up, it's just coming into first light, and quite often a lot of species at first light, they show themselves. You know, in the spring, the tench roll, the carp, quite often they're coming out, and silverfish can quite often show themselves as well. And in the winter, the water temperature drops right down. So in the summer, silverfish, they're everywhere. They're spread out in loads of little pockets, whether it's rivers or lakes or whatever, they're just spread. So ultimately that means that the predators are spread as well. Once we get now, you know, the water's probably 5-6 degrees out there now, then they haven't got, what they do is they get into areas where they get consistent water temperature, usually at the bases of slopes. So they get at the base of a slope. What happens then is they can come up the slope during the day as the water warms in the sun, and they can come up there. This is the bait fish, okay, and then they can drop back down into that slope at the night, and then in the morning you'll quite often see them topping on the surface and everything, the silvers. The pike are never going to be too far behind. So if you wander around, it can be hard. If it's windy, it can be really hard, but if there's 4, 5, 6 ounce roach around, you can quite often see the little tail slaps and things like this as you're looking around. This morning though, when we got here, it is a very sheltered here. It's surrounded by fir trees and big old trees, and yeah, it's quite a sheltered venue, so it wasn't too bad. And as we walked around the lake, we came around and you could see this area here. You could see silverfish topping, so naturally that's a really good place to go. We saw a couple of grebes diving, so yeah, it was a good indication of a good area where to start. And then, like I say, I don't know a lot about the lake. I heard it was deep, but various, you know, Chinese whispers, you never know how deep. People always kind of over exaggerate these things. So I had a deeper, I've got a deeper with me, and they're just handy bits of kit to keep in your bag. Cast it out, bring it back through, and you can look around, you can see where the marginal slopes are, you can see if there's any bait fish, and you can see all sorts of features, weed beds which are collapsing, rocky stony areas you might need to avoid because of cut-offs and things. And so they're a fantastic little bit of kit to keep in your bag for all types of species. So yeah, I had a cast around with that, and there was bait fish out in front. They looked promising, so yeah, put the rods out, 3 different depths. You know, I got the top of the slope, halfway down, and then at the base of the slope. So again, I'm covering the water column there rather than just seeing some bait fish and putting all my rods next to the bait fish. I'm doing a line of bait out there, and I've had, you know, a couple of takes and a fish, and I'll stay in this swim a little bit longer now. So that was, you know, 3 takes in a couple of hours. It's worth hanging about for. So I'll probably give it another hour, then I'm going to leapfrog to another swim, and then do exactly the same again with regards to the depths, having a quick look around with the deeper and seeing what it looks like, and fingers crossed pick up another one. So you can probably see I'm in a different swim. I've literally just put out the second rod on the marginal shelf, because I fished that other swim. There was bait fish topping, had a couple of takes, had a small pike, but for the last hour or so there was just nothing. And there's a thing I do which is, like, everyone nowadays has a mobile phone, and nearly all mobile phones, they've got a timer on there, just a stopwatch or an alarm timer, however you want to use it. And in all my different types of fishing for years now, I use it, and I'm not fanatical about it, but it just triggers me to do things, whether it's recasting a feeder for the barbel, redoing baits when I'm sea fishing, which get washed out with the tide, or whether it's pike fishing and it might be time to move the swims. I just set that timer. You know, for barbel fishing it might be 20 minutes, half an hour. It might be the same if I'm river pike fishing on a still water like this. It might be an hour, hour and a half for the pike. And if I've had a couple of bites, I just reset it when it goes again, and I'll just stay, because I don't want to try and leave fish to look for more fish when there's fish in front of me because of the watercraft I've used to find them. So that's how I use it, and it's definitely worked for me over the years for all different types of fishing. It works really well for me. I'm not crazy about it, like I say, but it just helps a bit of a kind of pattern form with regards to baiting, feeding, moving swims and things. So, you know, that time has gone off. I hit it again because there was some action, but nothing happened in that second timer. So I was like, you know, it's time to move swims. So I've come down to, I just leapfrogged a little bit further down. It's a little bit shallower down here, a little bit. I'm redoing the rods again. And see if I just got the takes and caught the fish which were in front of me in that swim, which is what I think happened. Okay, there was bait fish there, and I thought they were going to hang about there, and that's where they were hanging about, at the bottom of the slope, but they weren't. They moved through, or they've changed where they've gone during the course of today, and I think I caught what was there. So I would say, you know, I've just hitting the timer now, and I would say I'll give this swim an hour and a half, and if I don't get a take here, then I'll move to another swim. So see what happens. What am I doing? It's just a normal leader knot, so we've got the leader. Need a lighter. It's a bit greasy, but let's do it. And then okay, got it. I've done a blob there, just blobbed it off with a lighter. Make sure it's not really sharp. This has to be 0.8 mil or thicker, 0.8 of a mil or 1 mil thicker for your leader. 1 mil is the best. Tighten it down 7 times around. Tighten it down like you would do for a normal knot. Make sure you've got a long enough tag end so you can tie it nice and tight. Slowly slide it down to hit to the buffer, and then just off. Tighten it up and tighten it and tighten it and tighten it, and then that is going nowhere. And then you get it. And then, not sure where my proper cutters are, so use these scissors, my bait scissors, like there. You've got a nice leader knot there. Run ring, it's going to sit. The run ring, when it's done, it's going to sit like that when it casts. So you can just run that one up there. Wet that up because it only just fits through here. And then we just need a clip. So you got your quick link. You can see it's all distorted. It's a bit of a fuck one, that. And you literally just bring it up round and then go 1, 2 and through, and that is it. Wet it, pull it down. That ain't coming off there. No way. What I do then is I just cut it there. Get my lighter. And put another blob on the end. And he's there like that. Bring this one down through. And he's there. And he's there like that. So here we've got the Elite Predator braid, which is in £60, through to the blob knot, and then we're going down to £80 fluorocarbon there. It's not an up trace, it's more just a protective leader because of the rocks and snags. And when you go down here, we've got the drop-off system. This is the Fox one, which the carp lads use all the time. You put the nugget in there. That nugget will stay on for the cast, absolutely no problem at all. But if you're going to cast again, pop the nugget out, put a fresh nugget in, so you're not just casting and casting on the same nugget, which will get weaker. And then you've got on a quick link there, trace pops on there, and then away you go. Super fast, super easy. You never lose it, even if you catch a fish. You lose it if you snag, and that is the whole point of it. It's a safe rig to use. Alright, let's fire this out and see what happens. Right. Well, the timer just went off. Done an hour and a half in this swim and no sign of life at all. No indications. This swim just didn't produce anything. Yet we had the 3 bites in the swim we started in. I think I'm probably... There's another swim I like the look of down the far end, but it's a bit tight on the casting because it's a very wild venue, this venue. It's not all manicured or anything like that. It's very, very wild. So the swims, you kind of tuck in between trees and everything like that, which is ace. It's really good, especially in the world we live in, rather than all palleted swims and everything like that. It's a really wild venue, which is its beauty. You know, you wouldn't want to change that. But it is a little bit restricted in the next one I would go to. So I think I might actually go back to the swim I left, because there was 3 bites in that swim. Yes, it did die off, but I think as the light level changes, it's a gin clear water venue, so the water is like tap water, and quite often in those venues, first light and last light is when you'll get takes, because the light levels fade and obviously they can see everything and they're predators, so it's usually the good time for a take. So I think it might be a bit of a gamble, but I think go back to where I came from and just see if we can't finish the day off with another fish, which would be lovely, especially as it's my first time pike fishing on here with dead baits and everything. So yeah, that would be good. So I'll reel them in quickly, move quickly because you can't catch when they're not in the water, and then fire them out and just see if we can catch one more fish to finish the day. Fingers crossed. So we've just moved back to the future and come back to where we began. Don't know whether it's the right decision or not. We're going to find out, but I've just cast out. I'm just going to quickly fire out a little bit of chopped fish. Just my old dead baits I use to fire back out when I think they've been washed out or been used. Then rather than wasting, when you cut them up, there's plenty of juice and goodness left in them. So all I do is just chop them up and just put them over the top of where I'm fishing, and that just adds a bit of scent into the area, and then hopefully on dusk a fish makes an appearance. If not, I'll be back. Yep. Ooh, the line's underneath the tree. Okay, that was worth the move. That was going. Now it's stopped. I'm in contact. There's no movement there. Yeah, it's just started to go now. There we go. Check the drag. Oh no! Off. Had a take. You can't, you know, it was trundling away. Everything was absolutely perfect. I felt the fish on that one, and it was just, I could just feel that little bit of resistance, but for whatever reason, the hooks didn't stick. My guess is it was a small pike. So let's fire this one out here again now, and then hopefully get the spawn ready so I can cast straight into the car after the cast. Then hopefully it was a small pike, and there's a bigger pike to come. Felt it though. It felt the hooks, you know.
Yeah, that was on for a bit, wasn't it?
Yeah. Can't see that one going again somehow.
Oh, the bend in that rod as well,
Yeah, it looked bigger, didn't it, on the bend, yeah. You never know, it might not have swam off, it might take in a little bit once it...
Hopefully all that scent from
Yeah.
the first time around and that would have kept a few in the area.
Yeah. And then you've got a bit of chop's gone out over every rod except the middle rod actually. Alright. That's 4 takes. 4 bloody takes, Sam. What's going on? That was a bad hookup ratio. So, we've spoken about a lot today. One of the things, I'm using a pod today rather than bank sticks. I do love bank sticks, to be honest with you. But when I did research of this venue, I knew it was rocky. There was nothing worse than trying to get bank sticks into rocky ground. It can be an absolute nightmare, especially 3 of them. A pod is quick, it's easy, it goes up anywhere. So, you know, I brought the pod today, but I keep the bank sticks in the van just in case I did want to, but pod's been perfect. And I know it's a wild venue, it's wild. And because it's wild, you're going to have loads of overhanging trees and everything like that, okay? So it's not like a big manicured place. So, and because of that, I've changed from, normally I want distance bank fishing, and I have my longer rods, 12-foot rods. But today I've put my boat rods in. So I know they're the boat rods, but they're 10-foot. And they're just perfect, you know? I would have really struggled today with these overhanging trees and things. You can go onto your knees to cast. That gives you a little bit less. But having the extra couple of foot less makes all the difference. And I use them on the river. They're great rods, you know, they're very, very versatile. So yeah, and then all the other tackle is exactly as I normally use. Into these double doors, which obviously... Okay. So this rod, after the move, went straight away, and it's now going again. And that just goes to show how quickly you should get a bait back out on the spot. I'm nervous after losing a couple of fish. I need to get onto that point now. Feels a much better fish. That's a good fish when it does that. A very strong tackle, but you just still don't need to bully them. You don't need to go softly, but you don't need to put hooks up. You know, I lost potentially this fish. Oh, I seen it. That's the beauty about clear water. Just a few minutes ago, but I had a trace ready. Clipped it straight on, and that fish never really knew what happened. Hey. Slacken off whenever they do that. Whenever they face away from you like that, you slacken off, because they may, not always, especially if they do that. If you have a hard drag, that's how you rip the hooks up. You've got to have that drag right. It's an energetic fish, I know that. Come on. Come on. Jeez. Giving it a lot of side strain because I've got another rod there and I don't want it tangled. There we go, look at that, beautiful. That is what happens when you put all the little percentages together. It makes a big difference. Oh! And that is why when you do your homework, just get a few hunches, a little bit of Watercraft. Hopefully it results in something like this, which you can't complain about on your first trip to the venue. That is a lovely, lovely pike, which is in the net. And the best bit about pike fishing when you get a big fish is going like that and having a look. That's a big fish. Sam, have a quick look with the camera there.
Oh my God, look at the markings.
That is a beautiful wild, wild fish. Absolutely stunning.
Colours. Oh my.
It's a beautiful fish. Look at that. Stunning. Never give up. Keep on casting and keep on doing the little things. So she's in the net, as we know. Gonna unclip the trace. Super fast and super easy, but always be holding the net. You never want to be carrying your rod with a lead connected to the fish and a net. It's just an accident waiting to happen, okay? Okay, awesome, got a good fish in the net, but I'm quickly just cast into exactly the same spot again. Had a trace ready, loaded with a bait on. I cannot catch another fish from that area if I don't have a bait in that area. And if you think about it, why would the bait only attract one fish? Why, if it's attracted one, it could have attracted more, and you've put them into that frenzy because you've been playing a fish in that area. They don't always know that it's because a fish has been caught. Quite often when you're playing fish, you'll see another one behind it. They follow it in, they're like companions, or they want to know what's going on, and you get a bait straight out there and you can catch his mate sometimes. Sometimes the mate can be bigger than the one you just caught. Happy days. You can see I had the swinger super sensitive. So I could tighten it, and of course it wouldn't fall off when I'm setting it all the time. But for my liking, that would be too tight. I'd only tighten it up if it was windy today and it kept clipping out with wind. That's clipping out with me just trying to fine tune my setting. And you can see it's just slowly dropping back as the braid just slowly starts to sink through the water column. If you always keep your hand there when it drops back, it stops the braid from just spooling off. That's perfect. That's perfect. Click the alarm on, see, job done. Let's get this one out. Someone's lost their dog.
You sniffed out your dead bait.
It's okay, she's a good girl.
Good recall.
Yeah, good girl. You're a good dog. Okay, so now's the time when we get to see the fish in all its glory. So perfect. The rods are out, it's sound. If I've got this fish out, I've got Sam here with me. Sam would take care of the fish, I would take care of those rods. That's our plan. We always have it in place because it's always fish welfare, and we always want to make sure that the one we've got out of the water is okay, and if we did get a take, that's okay because we know what we're doing. We're not going to go, oh my God, what's going on? Sam knows exactly what to do. He looks after this one, I grab the rod. That's what happens in case when we're filming and we get double takes. So this one we're going to take now, carry it to the net. I've got my cutting tools, my pliers, the scales, a wet sling, everything is ready. I'm not going to rush for anything. Everything's all set out, everything's nice. I've got water ready as well so I can wet the fish if I need to, and away we go. So let's have a look at this baby. And when I'm lifting the net, I'm always holding it so I can just see the trebles. I'd already done that anyway. I could see that the trebles were just inside the mouth, so I know that it's not going to roll the net up and I'm going to have all sorts of problems, okay? So let's going to fold the net down, get the fish long ways. Right. You've got to remember, these fish are old when they're this big. You've got to look after them. Make sure all the fins are facing against the body. It's nice and safe. Nice and slowly to the mat. Yep, that's a good one. That's a good one. So, the net will now get in the way, so the net needs to be got rid of. It's very fat. Very fat. Hey, 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 hey. So, I'm going to slide her along. Hey, hey, hey. There we go. Get rid of that net because I don't need it again. Wow. She's been eating all the pies. So, there we go, baby. Let's have a look and see what the hook is. So, there's a mouth. Look at that. You've got a few teeth there going backwards. You can always feel when they're about to kick because they clinch. It's as simple as that. It went in that way. You just turn the hooks. You get rid of that trace because it could be a bad end to the day if you suddenly get a trace in your hand. So that's it. She's now safe. And she's looking good. Right, there we go. Hit the 0 button. Right, we're good. Alright. Over the mat. Oh yeah, it's a good fish. That's a big. Yep, there's a 20. I thought so. 22. 10. Cheers. First visit to a new venue, £22.10. A 20 from any venue is an incredible fish. It might look like they pop up left, right and centre on social media. They don't, trust me, they don't. So a £20 fish is an absolute beautiful fish. Hey, 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 hey. Let's have a little look. Are you ready, Sam? Okay, so we're just going to let her go here. You can see her gills are going.
You've got a bite.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay, there she goes.
I'll film this. You need to check that rod, mate.
Wow, she went off strong. Did you see that?
She's gone, she's gone. Ready?
Yeah. Yeah. She went powerful, didn't she? Clear water venues, you see without light level changes, they come alive. Wow. She looked good swimming back. She looked really good. You can see how wide she was, couldn't you? Lovely, lovely, lovely fish. Lovely fish. Yeah. And this is the same rod, left-hand rod, look. So this is the one which I cast out when that fish was resting in the net. So, proof is in the pudding. Proof is in the pudding. It's not a huge fish, but it's a pike, you know. Yeah, it's a little jack. In fact, it would be, it's probably what that other one eats. Yeah, there you go. There she is, a little jackaroony. Whew.
Chinning that one all.
Yes, I can see the trebles, and yeah, I can see the trebles. It's literally just nicked in the side of the mouth. So, a little jackaroony, I can see one treble is under the chin. Doesn't get, it's not great when they're like that. The last thing you want to do is put them in a net. So all I do is be very, very careful, because I need to get that one out of there like that, then get a nice firm hold. I can feel it tensing up, it wants to kick. Turn that one out of there like that, like I say, move the trace, and this feels like slightly smaller than the last one.
Equally as impressive.
Of course, yeah, beautiful markings, and actually it's got a really damaged nose on it from years ago. Don't know whether maybe it was tethered up at some stage or something, but nearly pug-nosed on the front, but not. I would say it had an incident. Could be, I don't think it's an otter or anything. I don't know what that would be. You see on the nose? See the nose?
Yeah.
Strange, isn't it? Look. Obviously feeding well though. And if it's not careful, it might just end up being supper for the one I just put back. So let's get this one back. If I were you, little one, I would swim out. Oh God! If I were you, gone. I would. Yeah, probably that's a good way to go. Go the other way, and there's a big mama. Happy days. We came, we saw, we conquered. Lovely. So we're coming to the end of a really successful day, and we've covered what pretty much I do whenever I go fishing, all the little bits and pieces. I'm sure there's more to come. You know, whenever I come out filming with Fox, I always try and think, okay, what do I do that I don't realise I do, which I can put into words so that hopefully other people can copy and learn, and it might just give you a few more percentages. I always look at it. I've spoken about it loads of times before. The whole session is like a jigsaw puzzle, and you're trying to put the right pieces in, and when you get it right, it's 100% complete, and then hopefully you end up with a good fish like that one there. You know, it's a hell of a fish. It doesn't always go like that, but you're always learning. So, you know, sometimes you might come out, you might just get a jack or two or something like that, but it's not all about catching monsters either. Just enjoy the day. Like, you know, we live in a crazy world where everyone wants bigger and better and longer and everything, you know. Just enjoy the day. Yeah, do the jigsaw puzzle, try and get it 100% complete, but just enjoy the day. Don't stress out. Don't go there getting stressed because you can't catch, or you've got it. Just go, chill out, try and put the things in the right places so that if you want to be like that as an angler, so that you can potentially try and catch bigger fish. And even if you don't, just put the little bits and pieces in, and you'll catch more of the smaller. You'll catch them all. You can't guarantee what you're going to pick is going to pick your bait up, you know. But most importantly, just enjoy your day. You know, day's fishing. So you know, we're coming completely to the end. The light's fading rapidly. I'm just going to bring the rods in. And it's been a great day, and you know, I've covered a lot of things. The rigs I've used today, if you go back onto the last video we did, the Venue Detective, if you have a look at that one and look at Putsall Park, if you look at that one, that's a great venue as well. If you look there, you'll also see that it's the same rigs, everything's the same. You know, keep it simple. You know, it's the key. Keep it simple and keep it strong. Strong tackle, yeah? You're pike fishing, you need it super strong. If you get cut off, if you crack off, you do anything like that and you're firing out or leaving a trace in the water with a dead fish on, that pike doesn't know, does it? It doesn't know, it's not attached to you. It's going to come along, pick it. Big fish like that one I just had, they just won't exist if people are just cutting off left, right and centre. Make sure it's super strong. You know, one of the rules in this venue, which is a great rule, it's super rocky. So you need to have leaders. So you've got 80 or 100 pound fluorocarbon leaders there I've got on mine. And you can see how I did that. You've got the 60 pound braid on there. You've got the carp system, PVA system for the leads to drop off. You can cast them, it's fine. And I played that big fish in, didn't lose the lead. But if that lead had gone low on the way in, okay, that lead would have come off and that fish would have been safe. And some people say, oh, you shouldn't be dropping them pike fishing, you shouldn't be dropping your leads pike fishing. I've fished on some very, very well-known waters where many times I've seen anglers reeling in to change their baits. And because there's lots of sunken trees underneath that lake, those leads, because they always hang low, have just gone bam, and they've wedged behind the tree root. And what? They pull, they snap. And what's left out there? A trace, a loaded trace, yeah? And if you've got that drop-off system, you pull, PVA comes off, lead comes off, just reel in the trace. Even if the trace then got a snag behind, you've got a 60-pound brace, just straighten the hooks. So like, you can't leave loaded traces out there, and it's vital. If for the future of pike fishing, it is vital. You've got to protect them. And they're not like other fish. They feed differently. They swallow their hooks into their stomachs. It's different. So you need to fish accordingly, okay? And other than that, it's a great day. On to the next one. We'll catch up again. We'll go through it all again. We'll have a good time and hopefully put a few fish on the bank.